there. In this video I'm going to show you how you can create your own personalized necklace using Blender and FluidDesigner. So if we start the application up, I'm going to go to the object library now. I'm going to use a Harrington font to spell out the name Alison. So to start off with, I want a letter A. I'm going to use capitals here. So I want an A. Now all of these objects have got the same cross section. They're all got a bevel object. They're all basically NURBS curves with a bevel object of 1/2. So they've all got the same thickness. That's our default size. Now you could always create your own bevel object and use a different thickness after you've joined them all together. So I want an S now. Now how you overlap these is entirely up to you. You can play around with them afterwards, and you just until you're happy with the aesthetics of it, the layout of it, but you do need to make sure that things are overlapping and touching, because you don't want the thing to fall apart when you finally get it 3D printed. Okay, so there's the Alison spelt out. Now I'm going to leave it as it is like that. So if I just hold down the Shift key now and select all of those objects, I can go to Tool, Object Tools, and join them all. Now at this point what you also need to do is to reposition the geometry origin of the object to the center of the new object, and do cursor snap selection to cursor, because what that does is center Alison right in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the grid there. Now if I just open up the properties panel, you can see that the bevel object is 1/2. As I say, you could actually change that thickness. You could set up a new bevel object, but I'm going to leave it like that. What I want to do now is, if this is going to be a necklace, I want some rings at each end. So if we go to Object Library, under Jewelry Findings, you can find some rings which you can add here. And for something like a necklace, I tend to use an internal diameter of 2.5 millimeters. So if we click OK, and I'm going to position that at that end, and I just need to zoom in on it and see that I'm happy with the position. Now when I join these two objects together, it'll take on the thickness of Alison, 1/2 again, but I want a second one of these. So if I just go to Tools, Object Tools, and duplicate it and just drag it across to the other side. Now at this point I'll have to switch off the snap and just zoom in, and I just need to position that so that it's overlapping. And if I now hold down the Shift key and click on Alison and go to Tools, Object Tools, and Join, that ring at the end will now be the same as the rest of the Alison. And highlight that one, hold down the Shift key and select Alison, and again Tools, Object Tools, and Join. Now if you're worried about the gaps in the name, what you could do is to put a bar at the top and the bottom. I'm just going to put a bar at the top, just show you how it's done. So if I go to Add Curve and I want a NURBS path, and if I make sure I select the path and just pull it up and zoom in, and if we now go into edit mode, what we can do is, this NURBS path is made up of 5 control points. So if I select one control point at the end there and G for grab, and just reposition that control point there, and G for grab and position that control point there, and I just need to reposition that one and probably reposition that one, and maybe pull that one down a little bit. We can adjust that a little bit more in a second. I'm just trying to get this path to fit along the top of Alison. Once you're more or less happy with the position, as I say, we're going to adjust it slightly in a second. Hold down the Shift key and select Alison again, and Tools, Object Tools, and join it. Now if we zoom in here, you will find that it's probably not quite in the right position at the end there. So if you just do G to grab and just fit it neatly in the end. And we do need to just double check the other end as well. We don't want it open, so edit mode with the tab key and just pull it down. And you could play around with the 3 control points in the center. I think I've more or less got them right. I could just pull that down there until it fits round the name. Okay, so that's how you can create your Alison necklace. You could enhance it a little bit further by moving part of it down. So if I go into the edit mode and if I select a control point somewhere in the middle there, if I switch on proportional editing and then pull that down and just open up my proportional editing circle, you can see I can play around with Alison and distort it and get a more interesting necklace shape. Now obviously I would need to reposition the bar at the top. When I do something like that, it hasn't moved the bar in quite the right position, so I need to switch off proportional editing to pull the bar back up into the right sort of place. Okay, so the bar didn't quite fit in there, so you can just reposition that afterwards until you're happy with it. So yeah, that's basically how you can create your own personalized pendant. Thank you for watching.